Story 1. When my nieces were young and sold Girl Scout cookies or items for school, my wonderful mother-in-law and I actually worked out a system where she knew my budget and ordered on my behalf. I just handed over the money. I didn't even say anything. I just blindly ordered and paid. Story 2. Electric lawnmower. It is the best tool upgrade I have ever made and probably will ever make. With a small yard, there is no gas, no pull start, no priming, and no worrying about dirt in the carburetor. There are no more oil checks or air filters, and no more crazy loud noise. I can actually talk to people while mowing. My vacuum is far louder. I can stop and start so easily without having to mess around with one hand on the bar to keep the engine running. It is the best. Story 3. I recently saw a first edition of the Codex Seraphinianus available for the lowest price I have ever seen it. It was an instant buy. Story 4. I was looking for a better virtual reality headset than the one I currently have. I saw an auction on eBay for a Samsung Odyssey Plus. The original retail price was about £450. This was being sold for £41, with less than 20 minutes left in the auction. I bid for it, the clock ran out, and no one counterbid. It arrived in the post a few days later, works perfectly, is in great condition, and it is the best virtual reality headset I have ever owned. I literally could not believe my luck. Story 5. A baby Brezza is like a coffee maker, except it is designed for formula. With my firstborn, I absolutely hated making bottles and spent a lot of money on instant formula. With my second child, I learned about the Brezza, which costs $200. I consider it one of the best purchases ever, and I usually recommend it if someone can afford it or receive it as a gift. Story 6. Chub Rub. It's not what you think. They are anti-chafing stickers for your thighs. I saw it on Shark Tank last night, literally as I was nursing some serious thigh chafing, and I have never checked out on Amazon so fast. Story 7. When I was deployed, there was this little bazaar on the forward operating base. One day, I walked into a store filled with food and drinks. My intent was to find something to snack on during longer missions. Instead, I found one of those bags of strawberry candy that has the wrapper designed to look like a strawberry, and there were 1,000 of them in this bag. Typically, the bazaar allows for bartering on price. I looked at the man selling, asked how much, and he said $7. I did not even try to argue, just gave him the money and left. That candy lasted me the rest of the deployment, and I even found a few in a bag after coming home. Story 8. Premium parking for concerts and events. In and out in less than 5 minutes. The time savings alone is worth it. It depends on the venue, though. Locally, I know which ones are worth paying for. Story 9. Scuba diving is the greatest hobby I have ever had. The second I hit the water, I felt utterly at peace, alive, and calm. I saw some amazing things too: wrecks, tanks in a landing craft, seals, turtles, whale sharks, and more. It was just awesome. Becoming a father changed my priorities, and that was that. Story 10. Honestly, just yesterday I was at a running expo for an upcoming race to pick up my packet. The local running store had a booth with some clothes and shoes on discount. I had zero intention of purchasing. I was just there to get my bib, but I gave a once-over to the offerings. I spotted in the corner a dusty shoebox with my favorite brand Ultra on the side. I meandered over, looked at the label, then did a double take. It was the Torin 7 series, my favorite running shoe ever, that has a new series out this year. But they quit stocking the 7s last summer for no reason, so I'm in worn-down shoes. In a size 9.5 women's, my size, and blissfully wide width, my preferred width. When I tell you I clutched that box to my chest, I got to the front, and they were 80% off. I still don't know how I got so lucky, but I have new shoes of my favorite kind for my race tomorrow, and I'm so happy. Story 11. I remember being on my way home from work and saw this long line. I asked the people at the end what it was for. The Nintendo Wii was about to be pre-released a day or two before the actual launch day. I decided to stand in that line and bought Wii Sports, Rayman, Monkey Ball, and The Legend of Zelda. It was worth it. Story 12. Someone recreated the Mr. Flibble penguin hand puppet from Red Dwarf and was selling them. I snapped one up quickly and even paid overseas postage. Why? I had always wanted one, and the Red Dwarf official version had been discontinued. It was everything I had hoped for. Story 13. A one-time only re-release beach towel printed with "This is Sandpit Turtle" from Forever Emo Prince. Trust me, it was worth it. Story 14. I used to be the coach of a high school academic program. One year for our national competition, the kids got to go to Disney since the event was in Orlando. I told myself, "You're a 30-year-old man. You don't need any souvenirs." When I was younger, I loved Stitch. He's my favorite Disney character. I've also been a Star Wars fan my entire life. I came off a ride and saw a pillow of Stitch where on one side he was Yoda and on the other side he was Darth Vader. I just sighed, hung my head, and took out my wallet. Story 15. Way back in the late 1990s, I was teaching myself Photoshop. Being the 1990s, it was a cracked demo version, of course. Using the mouse made it hard to achieve precise movements. I was watching a television show about computers, and they showcased the Wacom tablet. I looked it up on the internet and placed an order. I am still using Wacom tablets, but the Photoshop software is now a licensed copy. Story 16. My first triumph. I didn't even care about the price. I booked as soon as I saw it. After so many years, I felt the childlike joy again. Story 17. September 2023. I bought a Chinese hybrid car. It's like a personal shuttlecraft from Star Trek. Cost $34,000. There is only one mandatory service. I have filled up my gas tank maybe 12 times, if not less, in the last 18 months. It's a mid-sized SUV. My neighbor has a Ferrari. A buddy of mine has a G-Wagon. I swear to God, I actually feel bad for them. I drive a MG plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. The speed and acceleration specifications listed are all truthful. I take off like a smooth bullet. I understand why Elon Musk and Donald Trump do not want Chinese cars in America. It is pure greed. I am American and I am so thankful I am out of the States for the next 4 years. Story 18. When my dad said I could buy whatever I wanted from the doctor who shop in London, I went hog wild and bought several books, a cookie cutter set, a very expensive badge, and a t-shirt. 120 pounds well spent. Story 19. Robot vacuum Ecovac something. It isn't perfect, but I can relax all day and keep the floor decent. Story 20. When I rode a really big cubic centimeter sport bike for the first time, there is just nothing like it. I didn't care about the cost. I have loved it ever since. Story 21. My 10-year heroin habit. But also, not much else. The stuff I geeked over and hoarded wasn't so much a costly issue. It was just abundant. Thrift stores, antique shops, dumpster dives, yard sales. I hoarded sugar packets, sea glass, and organized clothes I never wore but wished I could get the confidence to wear, by size and color. I did splurge on odd boots like Dr. Martens, UGG types, and combat boots, as well as bags and hats too. I was kind of like the old lady from the movie Labyrinth who had all the trash she carried around. Story 22. Vita Mix. It can blend, mix, heat, and does it have a cleaning setting or a rinse option? Or my Instant Pot. Between them, I have a full kitchen. I just moved, and yes, I'm using them along with my mini fridge and chest freezer as a kitchen while I build. Story 23. I found my dream wedding shoes that were sold out everywhere online in a store that I drove an hour to find. Story 24. I bought a Dyson vacuum when we could not afford it. With 5 pets and 2 long-haired people in one small house, it has been absolutely life-changing. Story 25. Deluxe bidet with a remote control that allows you to adjust the direction of the jet spray. It features heated water and selectable spray patterns. It's worth every penny at $500. Story 26. NZB360 and their bounties, user Kev1000000, are so impressive with their support and development of the application. I am happy to support it where I can, and it makes financial sense for me. Story 27. From time to time, a store will pile on the questions like, do you want to donate to the charity, round up the sale to the next whole dollar, start a membership, get on the rewards program, and what is your phone number? I try to decline politely unless it is beyond reason. Sometimes, when it is out of control, I do not answer the questions and just keep motioning with my credit card toward the payment machine. It may seem rude to avoid their questions, but it is actually rude and greedy to keep badgering a customer who is trying to give them money already. Story 28. Going back to the first time I purchased my own suit, I won a great promotion at my job that meant I needed to be more presentable. Sadly, I was made redundant about a decade later. Such is life. In terms of a more comical, shut up and take my money, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas on the PlayStation 2. Oh man, take me back. Story 29. Salt shaker that looks like a magic wand. Now every time I use it, I say to myself, I am magic. Story 30. My bike. I had never ridden a BMW K1600 before. I paid and arranged for delivery without even seeing the bike in real life. Story 31. A lot of people complain about salespeople trying to upsell, but honestly, I feel like people try to downsell me. Do I look poor? I've asked for the top-of-the-line item and they try to give me something inferior. For example, I tried to buy my son a vacuum cleaner. I knew exactly what I wanted and how much it cost. They showed me several cheaper models, and when I insisted, I know you make a... And finally the guy says, well, we have this, but it costs insert amount. You don't want that. Yes, I do. That's exactly what I came in and asked you for 20 minutes ago. Story 32. We bought a bread-making machine some years ago. We only need to put the ingredients in it, and 2 to 3 hours later we can take a perfect bread out from it. The crust is way softer than store-bought breads. Story 33. My electric car. I have a long 250-mile journey that has free charging at my destination. Being able to put 60,000 miles on a car in 2 years without a service, just inspections, and only needing one set of new tires is incredible. Plus, I only end up paying for the electricity I use when charging at home. Additionally, the car was super cheap as the dealers were trying to clear them off their lot for year-end. The Mercedes self-driving feature is really impressive and makes the 4-hour drive feel like nothing. I had never thought about it before, and one day I ran the numbers and realized all the benefits. Within a week, I had sold my diesel vehicle and bought the electric one. It helps that in my country you can write off a massive part of the cost as a business expense only for electric cars, so if you're in a high tax bracket, it feels like the car only costs 1/3 of the sticker price. Story 34. A set of Sony MDR-Z1R headphones is being sold secondhand for less than half of the retail price. I never thought I would ever own a set of endgame headphones. Story 35. Skis. I got ultramodern carbon all-mountain skis with bindings at about 60% off. I basically stole them. Story 36. A direct current fast-charging t-shirt that says, sad music on the front. I have never run so fast to a merchandise stall. It warms my millennial hipster heart every time I wear it. Story 37. Tile. Those little tags you put on your keys that you can call from your phone are a game changer. No more 10-minute panic because I took my keys out of their one location and my ADHD brain forgot they existed. My husband and I both have them on our keys, and we recently got ones for our purses and wallets. Story 38. A simple one. The Ray-Ban men in black sunglasses I just purchased. I just had to have them, and I needed some new ones. Story 39. A costume piece for my favorite science fiction show and favorite character came up for sale a few years ago. It was very expensive, but I bought it. It is made of latex, and I am afraid of degradation, so it has remained in its box for years. Story 40. M&G tickets for Steve Burns, the original host of Blue's Clues. The individuals who play Joe and Josh will be there too, but I do not really care for them. I am almost 30, and I have never been more excited to meet a celebrity in my life. Story 41. Honestly, a good vibrator, like for me and my girlfriend, has changed everything and made it incredible. We are still young, like in our teens, but I really recommend it. Story 42. I bought myself a Digit 1-2 recently as a first Groovebox synthesizer. It was a bit expensive, but I am super impressed with it. I actually stopped creating music in my digital audio workstation and just focused on mastering it for the past few weeks. Story 43. Doctor Who and the Yellow Submarine Lego sets. Nothing really great or important, but still special to me. Story 44. Honestly, a touchscreen device. When the iPad came out, I knew I wanted a big touchscreen to use the internet on. I went with Android because it was cheaper. I still have a tablet, but I mostly use a personal computer for the internet. Story 45. Getting a good steam cleaner has allowed me to clean the floors in my entire house in minutes. It was a complete game changer. Story 46. Threw out my back this week and went to a highly sought-after physical therapist who does not accept my insurance. Story 47. Wasn't my money technically since it was a present I asked for, but a heated coat. Getting older is challenging, and my body cannot handle the cold like it used to. Story 48. My way too wearable blanket. I own two, and I have purchased one for family and friends 6 or 7 times. Story 49. One of those battery packs for jumping your car. Can charge my phone about 10 times, it has a flashlight, and it has gotten me out of a lot of difficulties. Story 50. I have a heated hoodie. It was fairly expensive but worth every penny. I'm always cold no matter how warm it is. I use it year-round. Story 51. Went to the donkey sanctuary in Aruba. I could not give my money away to them fast enough. Amazing staff and the donkeys are just a delight. Story 52. Yarn. I see something I like. I buy enough of it to make a shawl or blanket and go home needing to buy more storage for it. I make a lot of impulse purchases for craft supplies. Printer filament, resin pigments and dyes, glitters, knitting odds and ends, molds for dice, though those are usually custom and take a while, and other small items like keychain blanks, screws, charms, markers, and paints. My estate sale is going to be pretty wild. Story 53. This past Wednesday, I bought the vinyl Anno Domini Black Sabbath box set for $85 and the Aerosmith Pandora's box set on eBay for about $35. It was easily a steal on both. Story 54. I am 4 feet 10 inches, and when I was pregnant, I vowed I would splurge and get the rotating car seat. I definitely got the Nuna 360 car seat. It was worth every penny for me. Story 55. Hot pink sequin fringe cowboy boots. My husband absolutely makes so much fun of me for wearing them, so now I count the compliments I get out loud to him, just for fun. Why on earth would you yuck my yum? Baby, we just went to the Fort Worth, Texas stock show, and I got to wear them. When I tell you I received about 15 compliments from beautiful people in the first hour alone. He's eating his words, not sorry. Sugar. Story 56. The collector's edition of Space Marine 2, as a Warhammer 40,000 fan, the minute I found out they were going all out for the game, I immediately purchased the collector's edition. I'm really happy because, due to that game, many people were introduced to the untapped goldmine that is the Warhammer universe in any scale. Story 57. OLED television. Fed up with low-quality liquid crystal display televisions that break after a few years. I am sure the OLED will break too, but at least it will last a good few years. Story 58. There was a computer game franchise in the 1990s called Zoambinis. My best friend and I loved that game. We even drew our own Zoambini characters and played with them like paper dolls. In 2014, there was a crowdfunding campaign to redevelop the original game for modern devices. If you pledged a certain amount, you also received a plush Zoambini. I gave them money so fast. Story 59. My gaming PC, I went to the video card benchmark website, picked up the best parts in most cases, and bought them. I went to a computer store and asked them the price to build it from my parts. They said they couldn't give me any warranty on my parts, which is totally reasonable. After a month since buying the first PC part, they gave me the computer. I had spent $6,700, but I am happy to play any video game, watch videos on YouTube, enjoy movies, and work. Oh yes, I work from home, and my CPU, GPU, and RAM do not exceed 40% utilization. Story 60. An InMotion V12 HT electric unicycle. I had the money and just found out about the product and knew I would love it. I still have it and have put around 2,800 miles on it. Story 61. Oh, definitely the PlayStation 5 on launch day. I didn't check reviews, didn't care about the price, just had to have it. I sat there refreshing pages like a madman just to get one. Story 62. At a tag sale, I found a leather camel that was part of a nativity set. They wanted $20 for the whole set. I gave her $20 and told her I would just take the camel. Thank you. She wanted me to take the whole set. I insisted, saying no, just take my money and sell the rest of the set for $20 to someone else. Story 63. These things are called Smisky figurines. I know they are just pieces of plastic at the end of the day, but I really have to look at them. Like, come on. They're so incredibly cute. Story 64. Urban Arrow. Sony PlayStation Portable. Story 65. A self-cleaning cat toilet is a complete waste of money. My cat used it only once, and the mess was everywhere during the process of it supposedly cleaning itself. My cat never used it again. Story 66. Discovery during my free trial when I saw their library. I legitimately tried to end it right there and make the full purchase. Story 67. AirPods. They had me at noise canceling. I was standing there politely listening to the salesperson's pitch while thinking to myself, could you just shut up and take my money? Story 68. A pair of llama salt and pepper shakers. They weren't expensive, but the lady showed them to me and asked if I wanted them, so I paused. She then said, I'll just wrap them up for you. They made me happy. Story 69. A bunch of years ago, I needed a big snowblower after the third major snowstorm of the year. I have 3 questions. Is it in stock? Do you deliver? Do you accept credit cards? Story 70. Finspan. My husband and I have been saying for years that a fish version of Wingspan would be awesome, and a few weeks ago we saw an advertisement for a Finspan release date. We ordered it when it launched and have been playing it in the evenings. We love it. No regrets. Story 71. Hayworth Zodi chair. I had some at the office, went on their website, and I was just so impressed that I wanted to spend all my money. Logitech MX keys and mouse. I ordered about 4 combos from Amazon, thinking I would probably return that one because it was the most expensive. The second I felt the weight of the keyboard and the functionality of the mouse, I was just so impressed that I wanted to spend my money. Story 72. When Big Finish announced the first 10th Doctor audio dramas with David Tennant reprising the role of the best doctor ever. Story 73. I recently found the perfect hognose snake from a breeder near my house. I almost instantly purchased her. Story 74. My friend sent me a message about an advanced micro devices 7900 XTX graphics processing unit for $500. They typically sell for around $800. I am currently gaming like a king. Story 75. The Wolf O'Donnell plushies were produced by the creator of the Fox in Space cartoon. He created a short skit to promote them that was very enjoyable as well. Story 76. A glass rinser you mount to your kitchen sink. I love mine and use it every day. It is basically a round tray that has a spray nozzle in the middle. You press a glass or bottle over it, and it sprays it clean, then drains into the sink. Best $5 I ever spent. Story 77. 3 words. Easy bake oven. Do you know how many cinnamon rolls you can cook in an hour with that appliance? Probably 1. Do you know how many cinnamon rolls it takes to kill a man? Probably more than 1. Story 78. Anything Paradox puts out, downloadable content and all. Then I take to Reddit to express my frustrations about Paradox and their downloadable content. Story 79. This is the Arcane Champion Jinx statue. Story 80. The upcoming Kingmaker game. This is not a plug for the game. I am old enough to dislike most games, but the thought of going medieval with the Second Amendment is kind of impressive. Story 81. A man in my condominium lobby had a small booth offering 4 gigabits per second internet for less than my current internet. Installation dates were available within 48 hours. Story 82. Ears tour tickets. I attended the concert twice, once during the United States leg and another for the Asia leg. By the time I got past the queue and was watching seats disappear right before my eyes, there was no time to think. So I got the first seat I could. It was a VIP seat and pricey, but at least I paid face value for the tickets and not resale prices. Story 83. That shop that I visit so frequently, I am basically a regular. I am basically reciting the order every time I order and then give them my money to get it done as soon as possible. Story 84. Samsung Galaxy phones with all this trade-in, vouchers, etc. They know how to make you chase that carrot. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.